It's that time of the year again when government officials, members of civil society organizations and the private sector converge for the public presentation of the draft 2023 to 2025 medium-term expenditure framework. This public presentation comes at a time when the global and domestic economies are recovering from the impact of COVID-19, while the Russian invasion of Ukraine continues to impact food and energy prices.
Our country is going through significant fiscal challenges. And so this forum is really what it is called, a consultative forum.
Just before presenting the draft framework, the Minister of Finance gives an update on the implementation of 17 trillion Naira 2022 budget. While the government generated a sum of 1.6 trillion Naira with 285 billion Naira being contributions from oil revenues and 632 billion Naira from non-oil sector, the oil sector gained just 285 billion Naira, with capital releases pegged at 4.7 trillion Naira, with a budget deficit of over 3 trillion Naira recorded under the same period.
Performance of the budget parameters indicates that the actual crude oil price is higher than the budget benchmark of $73 per barrel. However, high oil prices are offset by the lower output, which as at April stands at 1.32 million barrels per day. NNPC attributes the fall in oil production to the high incidence of crude theft and pipeline vandalization.
And then she delves into the draft framework, which gives a projection on expected key economic indices such as inflation, oil benchmark, gross domestic product, and revenue targets for 2023 to 2025. Nevertheless, how will the full commercialization of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited impact on the government revenue?
The new arrangement requires that NNPC will not be contributing to FAC on a monthly basis. But NNPC will still be paying taxes, royalties, and dividends. And we will be engaging the NNPC on how we expect these inflows to come to the Federation. So we can negotiate that these remittances are done on a quarterly basis, for example.
While plans are underway to engage members of the National Assembly, state governors, and members of the public on the draft document, government officials expect a rebound in the nation's economy as they continue to implement policies that will transform the lives of Nigerians.
At the same briefing, the finance minister also reveals that the federal government is to spend 6.72 trillion naira for fuel subsidy in 2023. The minister also announced that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, which had funded the fuel subsidy until last month, would henceforth leave that responsibility to the Federation, an action which, according to her, will create a strain on the economy.
For oil and gas revenue and federally funded upstream projects for the reporting period, the projected physical outcomes in the medium term are presented under two scenarios. And we need inputs from this consultative forum on these two scenarios. So scenario one is a business as usual. This is assuming that the subsidy on PMS, which is estimated to be 6.7 trillion full year 2023, will remain and will be provided for. That is scenario one. That is, we don't remove fuel subsidy at all from January to December next year. Scenario two, on the other hand, is a scenario that we are calling reform scenario. This assumes that petroleum subsidy will remain up to mid-year 2023, that is June. And this is meeting in line with the commitment that we made when we made an adjustment to the current year budget to say that the first subsidy provision will be extended to 18 months. And this 18 months will be up to June of next year. In which case, only 3.36 trillion will be provided for in the 2023 medium-term framework. Additionally, there will be a tighter enforcement of performance management framework for government-owned enterprises that will significantly increase operating surplus and dividends remittances in 2023. And also the assumption is that in 2024 and 2025 that there will be no fuel subsidy expenditure for the Federation.